In Lagos State, for example, we still have well over 65% of our staff at home, meaning that we currently have less than 35% of our workforce working in Alausa. So it goes to show that we are using ourselves as a case study, and we're being very, very serious, with this, to ensure that we can slow down the spread of this virus as humanly possible. And like we've enumerated and we're restating, it's by expressing it's by ensuring that all of the steps that we have enumerated, you keep to them. Social distancing, wearing of face masks, and all the hand sanitizers and other things that we've mentioned before. We'll also continue to keep you informed. We'll continue to keep you updated, as the public health and safety is one of our paramount responsibility. And I will say it for emphasis sake that our task as a government is to carefully and responsibly be able to balance all competing consideration around life and livelihood. That is one of our primary responsibility, and we will not leave that to chance. I will also want to use this opportunity again and again to acknowledge and to thank all of our frontline health workers, all our medical personnel, all our security operatives, all our support staff at the call center, our drivers, our cleaners that are working tirelessly, our primary health officials, our epidemiologists, and all of the people that are on the front line. Will continue to commend and thank them. With our health workers, especially the news around some arm of health workers going on strike, we have open conversation with our own, and like they said, we believe that we have a formidable working relationship with our own health workers, and we do not see any challenge whatsoever, given the relationship that currently exists between ourselves and themselves. Just this morning, the head of service also still had a meeting with them to reassure them about the commitment of government and to put their mind at rest that we'll do everything within our means, within our power, to create a conducive environment for them where health safety will continue to remain paramount to us as a government, but more importantly, the issues around welfare and all sorts that might lead to one or two misgivings are things that we're currently handling and we're sorting out, and we do not see any problem whatsoever. Gentlemen of the press, this is the end of my address today. It's very brief, very short. It's to pass on the review of our earlier stance or one or two pronouncements that we have given before that we needed to make clarification on. Thank you very much, and we're open for a few questions, if any. Just also mention that regarding the educational sector, I actually did mention that by now we're going to be expressing the clear guidelines. Those guidelines are not fully ready yet because of the engagement we're having with the various stakeholders in that sector. But we will need to continue to encourage the online learning that we have. I'm happy to inform you that had started extensively with our higher education, with our higher institutions. It's going on, and they're receiving all of the support they need from us as a government. We're also seeing increased participation in our secondary school, and we're encouraging other private sectors as well to use as much online capability as a form of intervention in the educational sector until when we believe that the statistics and the modeling that we're looking are subsided and we're at the stage where all of these schools can open again. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Governor. Can we have questions? Good afternoon, sir. My name is Adit. And I said, no doubt that the virus is raging with source rise. Well, we just say that the use of faith and social distance are not strictly adhered to. I would like to know what the Lagos State government is doing to make sure that all protocols are into.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Tayo Olorunyomi from Radio Lagos Eko FM. My question is based on the measures the state government is putting in place to move beyond contact tracing to voluntary community testing, since we are having so many testing centers around.
Good afternoon, sir. Florence Onebu is my name from News Agency of Nigeria. So I want to know, what is your collaboration with service providers, telecom service providers, concerning reduction of data, since we are advocating e-learning this time and it entails consumption of a lot of data. So what is your collaboration with the service providers? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think that will be all for now.
Thank you very much. Well, Adedoja, thank you. We see all the good work you are doing on your TV station. We just want to encourage you to continue to do that. Well, you are right. We've not seen the level of compliance that we would have wanted to see around people observing the use of face masks, people ensuring that the social distance, and even conversation around interstate travel. See, these rules are there, and we're doing everything as a state to ensure that we communicate with our citizens, that we express to them the need for them to obey or to comply with this very simple, very, very simple regulation. It is for their own personal safety and for the safety of their loved ones. We cannot say it enough. We cannot stop at ensuring that we continue to emphasize this over and over again. And so, gentlemen of the press, we will be doing our own bit, but please help us use whatever channel of communication you have. We have engaged religious leaders, we have engaged community leaders, we have engaged different stakeholders to pass on these messages, that these are the things, these are the little things we can do to ease the spread of the virus. The virus is in the air, it's by contact, it's by touching, that's how it gets transmitted. And these are just very basic things that we're asking and we're requesting our citizens to obey. We're at a stage where individuals also need to take responsibility for themselves and for their loved ones. Please let us see ourselves as partners in this advocacy program, and let's continue to pass it on, to tell our people, to express to them the importance of what we're saying. Tayo was asking around what additional measure are we putting in place regarding contact tracing, because it's now community-based and all of that. Yes, so you know we have about 20 sample collection centers. And so we're seeing the citizens coming and appearing at these sample collection centers. But more importantly, like I said, we're also increasing the number of testing labs that we're bringing on board. We have 5 now. We're planning to accredit additional 6 or 7, like I said, so that we can have a quicker turnaround in terms of when sample comes in and how quick people also get their result. We're also having conversation with NAFDAC if indeed there are quick test kits that can be used. But unfortunately, we've not been able to see any. We've not been able to validate any of the rapid test kit, to meet the level of positivity or negativity that we're looking. We're hoping that if we get anyone that can do up to a 90-95% success, we will, because we're at a stage where NAFDAC we should test them, but people are not coming up. If people can come up and show us the samples they have, we will test and we can validate, and it will be made available for the citizens. So please also help us express that we're willing to do a sample test of these rapid kits, and once we found them usable, we will also be working with NAFDAC, on that. So they've all been decentralized. Tayo, they've all been decentralized, and you see a lot more people now having access to either place where they can drop their sample or places where they can go do, they can walk in and also do tests. If you're walking into IDH, for example, they do also do sample collection there, and they have a means of sending your results to you within 24 to 48 hours. But like you've observed, we're at the community spread stage, and the Ministry of Health is doing everything to ensure that the commissioner is here as well. I don't know if he has one or two things to say, but we're at that stage, and every training that is required, we're completing it, and we're aggressively also entering treatment within the community. Florence, you asked a very important question. What collaboration do we have with the telcos regarding the upsurge in the use of data and telephone and internet capability? To be honest with you, we do not have any written engagement with them, but they know that Lagos is their big customer base, right? But like you've observed now, what we are doing as a government, which we've started, is to see how we increase our fiber connectivity in Lagos, which eventually will reduce the cost of data. We're doing a 3,000 kilometer fiber grid network in Lagos, and that 3,000 will throw fiber into our schools, will throw fiber into our hospitals and into all government premises. So that for us reduces and will crash the cost of internet capability for us, and it has started already. That deployment has started, already. And like you've observed too, maybe we need to get the telcos into a room and say to them, it's about time they also pass on some of these savings, to their customers. I imagine they're doing it, right? But on a formal basis, I think it's about time we'll also have that conversation with them. So thank you for the observation, Florence.